Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm Geoff Dover. With me is John Barban. Let's talk football.
All right, Chiefs did it again. They're on their way to
Just
attempt a
unstoppable.
three-peat. They're just unstoppable. This game went basically exactly how I thought.
Exactly. Yep.
Like we missed it by half a point, which is whatever.
Yep.
It's. I thought it would be close, field goal, maybe even less. And it was the QBs canceled each other out, just like we said. And it was just a couple of plays here and there was the difference. I actually have a note saying it was just the 2 4th down conversions they didn't get.
Yep. Yeah.
And that could have easily been the game, just those.
Yeah. Like it's the margin. It reminds me of the Baltimore game, right? Last week with Buffalo. Like it was the margin of winning or losing that game for that one almost came down to a catch. Right, the Baltimore tight end really at the end. It was could have gone either way.
Yep.
And this game felt exactly the same. Two great teams. Neither one's going to give it up. Like you're going to have to take it. And if they got that, especially that second 4th down conversion where it sort of looked like he had it, but they said that he.
I mean, that's how close this game was.
I know,
down to a spot.
But that really wouldn't, because what you can't do is give it to Mahomes with the possession left to win.
No.
Not a lot of time left, right? Because like you can,
no,
that's just, you can't do that. And so yeah, it's just like the Baltimore game. Like it was an amazing game. It's sad that someone had to lose.
Yep.
But like, oh man. So now I'm really impressed with Kansas City's run. If they get the three-peat this year, they will have beaten 3 of some of the best teams I've seen, like really in the NFL. Like, because Baltimore's amazing, Buffalo's amazing, Philly's playing great if they beat them.
Yep.
So that's, man, they're on a run.
I mean, it was, how even can you get? The total yards were 374 to 368, passing 227 to 233.
Yep.
Rushing 147 to 135.
Time of possession 29.5 minutes to 30 minutes.
Penalties 6 for 48, 5 for 21. I mean, it's just really, everything was really close. Red zone. I mean, it was, man, everything, even the total number of plays, just
every play felt really big. Like every drive felt really big. Every drive felt like, oh, they got to do something here. You know, the whole game was like that. So
KC was a bit more efficient. 4th down though.
That was KC, just for that point too. That was one of the notes that I had, that it over the course of a couple of quarters. It was Buffalo's inefficiency felt like it was starting to catch up for me. Like they had a couple too many 3-and-outs, couple too many drives stopping too soon. And I kept thinking, I'm like, you can't keep doing this. Like, this is not how you beat this team, giving it back to them.
And they had to rely on multiple 4th down conversions. I mean, they went 4 for 6 on 4th down. I mean, if you get to 4th down 6 times and you have to go for it that many times, it's reasonable you might not hit a couple.
Yeah, but 4 out of 6 is good. Like
4 out of 6 is good. But boy, did they ever get totally beat on the last one with the blitz. 3 guys came through. They had no clue what was happening on that one. And even then it went right through the tight end's arms. He could have actually caught it. But just how easily that blitz got through, they just got completely fooled on that play. And at the one point in the game where you can't get fooled on a blitz was the point where they got completely fooled.
And I'm surprised at how much negativity there's been about Dalton Kincaid not catching that ball. Like, yes, it's hit him in the hands, or but like that drop to me isn't as bad as the Baltimore tight end drop at the end zone. Like it was.
No, I mean, he had to adjust to it. That was not an easy.
No, he was coming back for it. There was a lot of people around. Like it was not. I'm surprised at how many people were like, he should have caught that, or it's his fault or something. I don't.
It would have been more of a, oh my God, what a catch! Catch.
Exactly.
Not hit him in the hands. Should have had it. That adjustment's really hard to make.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So I'm surprised how many people are picking on that.
So do we need to address the controversial calls? I've seen so many people. I mean, it's typical, right? People I feel like people just want to find something controversial with the Chiefs now.
Yes.
The worthy catch that the ball hit the ground. Was it secure? Was it not secure? How come you can't review that? Or how come they didn't? I mean, the ball hit the ground, but who even had it at that point? So, I mean, I still don't know. Catch or no catch, is that really going to change the whole game on Yeah, I mean, it put them in the red zone, but
yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the officials have become a narrative with the Kansas City Chief games now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because, and there was a thing that I don't know if you saw that on ESPN the other day, where the NFL made an announcement that they have to address the QB slide, like because of the
Yes.
Patrick
Oh,
Mahomes thing.
well,
So
forget
that,
Mahomes. All QBs.
yeah,
It
so
has to be dealt
but
with.
it was really, it was, I found it not, I don't know, this is going to sound bad, but I found it particularly egregious with Mahomes because there's some times where he's, like you pointed out this before, where he's clearly a ball carrier versus the QB scrambling versus the slide versus like falling forward, and there's definitely a couple of times where you could see the Buffalo players sort of run up to him and then you don't know what to do because if you can't hit him, but you can't also let him just fall forward, right?
Right. It's so almost like the Kenny Pickett fake slide that he ran for a touchdown when he was at Pitt, and then he immediately made a rule about it.
Yeah.
You know who does it? Who did it twice? Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
and true. I had a note. I actually didn't say it in our post game show, but it infuriated me because he did it again on a read option.
Yeah.
And he pulled the ball, ran, and then slid. I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you're a runner. By design of the play, you're a runner. And he's sliding like around the line of scrimmage. It's not like he's in the open field. He's got linemen, linebackers. Like, obviously, those are the guys you don't want to get hit by. They're so big. But that's not the point of that rule, is in traffic around the line of scrimmage to slide. That's not the point of the rule.
No, and especially if you're a defensive coach, like the defensive coordinator or the defensive line coach, how you coach against that is like you have to hit the block and then you hit the guy, like you force them to throw the ball. And then all of a sudden, all of your instructions, all of your drills, all of that changes. But if it's a QB now, because all of a sudden, like you can't do that. So
also,
anyway,
but he and to finish the point, he can choose to put his head down because he's big. They're both big. They're all big. All the quarterbacks who do this are big.
No, it's that they can decide if they're a ball carrier or a QB.
Well, I'm glad they're going to address that because that just shouldn't be happening in traffic.
No. Anyway, so this game it felt like a heavyweight fight from the beginning. Both teams were executing on offense. There was going to be a real narrow margin. You had to really execute to move the ball. The defense was still playing well. Like, it's not like they gave up a ton of yards. There was a lot of stops in the game. But boy, did it feel inevitable at the end when you're like, okay, it was like 8 minutes to go. We're giving it to Mahomes. And you're like, oh man, like I just don't see. Now, Grant, I think there was just a field goal then, but still, like it was, that was, it was a field goal with 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go. So, but that was, man, that's tough.
Yeah. It was just as close as, so the X factors were not who we thought. Kelsey was completely bottled up, and it turned out to be worthy for the Chiefs, who seemed to have a bigger game than I expected. And then Mac Hollins had an awesome game.
Yes, he did.
It was only 3 receptions, but boy, all 3 of them mattered.
Really
they were timely and they were big.
And there was one where the guy was all over him too, when he caught it. I think that was the touchdown. Was amazing.
Both QBs spread the ball all over the place. They've like 8 or 9 different people caught a pass. So we'll
have to check with our Buffalo insider, the chiropractor, about Hollins, because like I want to say it's the first time I've heard his name. Like I haven't.
Actually, he's shown up a few times.
Has he? Okay, because I've never. That's the most Hollins I've ever seen. Was this game.
Nationally? I'm sure there's not a lot of buzz about him, but
we had one of our X factors. You're not giving us enough credit, Barban. Was Cook, who had a game. Like he had 85 yards rushing, he had 49 receiving. So
2 TDs. That's a good game.
Yeah, he was an expert. So like this easily could have gone Buffalo's way, which is not by much, right? It's not like we were saying this in the Philly Washington review, like, this game would have been good minus the 4 turnovers, which is, it's a lot like
there was no turnovers here. It was a clean game.
Which is sort of like saying like, well, that'd be a great car if you just had a V8 engine in it. Like you're changing everything. But like, but this game would be, man, if we just got a 4th down conversion, or, it might have been completely different. It was that narrow.
And this is I think it's the first game the Chiefs went over 30 points.
Ooh,
they got 32 here. Did they get more than 30 last week? Because all season long, 30 was the most they could get.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not 32. It's not like it was that much
they had
more.
30 once against the Bucks.
No, but I mean over 30.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they've ever actually managed to get over 30 all year.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So, I mean, with I don't. It's almost nothing else to say. This is almost exactly what I thought was going to happen. Just
two really good teams.
I don't think. I know lots of people are saying, "Here we go again." The Chiefs got handed the game again. I mean, I don't think so.
I've really come around. I was like you. I don't really wanted to. I didn't want to. Was not too interested in seeing them win again. Was kind of like ready for something else to happen. But I've really come around. I'm really impressed with what they're doing, and it feels really different than other years based on like the defense versus the offense, like we've talked about before. Yeah. And I've really enjoyed. Well, I really enjoyed the Buffalo-Baltimore game. I've really enjoyed this game. And Kansas City will have beaten some good. It's just like Philly. Like they're I guess there's some NFL playoffs where every now and then like a 10-6 team or like a 9-7 team goes on a run, and then they get upset in the conversation. These are really like 12 plus win teams that they're beating, in the playoffs, which are really good. So yeah.
The only thing that would have been more fun is if somehow the Chiefs had to go through both the Ravens and the Bills. But
I know.
Almost doesn't make sense. They'd be too highly ranked. It wouldn't have worked out. I don't know how they could have ended up.
The Texans were playing well. Like that's a
legit team that they had to beat there too. The Texans seem to show up in the playoffs at least.
Yeah.
They're getting past the first round all the time now with Stroud. So, I mean, I don't know. There's always going to be the naysayers. And I think they're just entrenched now for no other reason than they're just sick of the Chief thing and the Kelsey and Taylor Swift thing. And it doesn't matter what happens in the game now. They're going to find a reason to discredit a win. I mean, so and if the Bills, let's say the Bills convert one of those fourth downs, they win the game, and then what? Chiefs keep the worthy play in, keep all of the, and let's say they don't convert the controversial one where let's say they convert the other one. Then what? Then leave all of these close calls the same and the Bills win. Then what?
Yeah.
Then the rest didn't give the Chiefs the game. So it's
this is one of the most narrowest of margins. A win that I've seen, right? Yeah. It's just like the Buffalo-Baltimore one. It felt like that fourth down conversion, there's only a handful of things would have changed this. So no, but I've really come around. I think that the Kansas, like they're 15-2 now. They're 8-0 at home. The defense is playing fantastic. They've got Mahomes can get it done on offense, even though the run game is just average to below average. But they're great. Like
do you think they match up better or worse against the Eagles than the Bills?
That's a great question. That's you mean for who would match up better against Philly?
No. The Chiefs having to get past the Bills, is that an even bigger challenge than getting past the Eagles? Maybe not the way the Eagles are playing right now.
That's
but
a great
Josh
question.
Allen, I think, is better than either Barkley or Hurts.
Ooh,
as a singular player, I'll say he's better than Barkley only because the ball's always in his hands.
Yep.
Barkley only can influence the play when it's handed to him.
Yeah. I'll just take the other side because I think that in high level football, the team that can run the ball has more of an advantage because that's in terms of taking possessions away from the other team and less risky, less chance of turnover and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that, this is a great matchup. This Kansas City's defense been amazing all year. Barkley's been amazing all year. It's going to, something's got to give in that game. So I'm nervous that it's going to come down to Philly needing a dynamic passing game to win, but I was wrong last week. So because if it comes down to if it's a possession game in the fourth quarter and it comes down to Kansas City getting it,
even though they gave up 29 points, the Chiefs defense, man, it shows up at the end of the game in the moments it really needs to.
Listen, they gave up 29 points, but it was only 374 yards, which isn't a ton. And the Bills also had a number of short drives and 3-and-outs. So it doesn't really reflect, I think, how effective the defense was. Because at the end, Kansas City got a field goal at 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. They still have to stop them after that. And they did.
And I did say, I wonder if it'll come down to the nerve of the play calling.
Yeah.
And for him, he basically ended the game on that blitz. That's kind of was the nail in the coffin of the game was when that blitz got through and Kincaid couldn't catch the couldn't catch that comeback. So it's just, man, right when they need it, they always get a big defensive play. It's almost like it almost always comes down to a defensive play.
Yeah, no,
it's not really. I mean, obviously the offense does just enough. That's the thing. This offense keeps doing just enough.
Yeah,
but the defense, man, it comes up right when it needs
to. This was the defense. The defense won it. Like Mahomes got the last score with 3 minutes 30 seconds to go, but then this is the play series after that, right? So the Kansas City goes up 32-29. There's 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. Buffalo's 1st and 10 at the 30. 2nd and 11, then they get a 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 42, but then it's 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, two straight incomplete, 4th and 5 at the 47, and then it's incomplete, right? So there's the defense stopped them, and then Kansas City just sat on the ball. So it's a killer. The defense is excellent. You're absolutely right.
And on the flip side, the Bills couldn't get the stop that they needed.
Yeah,
to try to. Obviously, you're talking about very low percentage at that point, at the very end there. But when they needed to, instead, they just got run over and then they just ran the ball out. That's kind of like a direct contrast at the end. And that's kind of what we said. We said Kansas City's defense is a bit better.
Yep.
But Buffalo's run game's a little bit better. And that's kind of all exactly how it went. And in the end, to me, it was the 2 4th downs. Really, the Kansas City's edge on defense sort of is what decided the game, it seems like.
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes is a great runner. And he gets some key first downs, had 2 touchdowns, like that's.
Looney Farm guy messaged me partway through the game. He's like, would you believe that Mahomes would have more rushing yards at half than Josh Allen? And I was, oh yeah, you know what? That's he can.
He finished with more yards too.
Yeah, and he can do it, right? He obviously he's.
Oh yeah.
This is my thesis, right? The future is all quarterbacks that can move.
Hey, first play of the game for Buffalo was a Josh Allen keeper. Right. So that really, like, when was the last time something like that happened with a really good, like, he's a good passing quarterback. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just, there's not, I mean, I don't know. I don't think this is just what it was going to be. I bet you if they play 10 times, you get half and half. The only thing is that's 4 in a row now in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's hard.
Allen's got the better of him in the regular season, but he hasn't yet to beat him in the playoffs. So I don't know I wonder if that starts to become a psychological thing.
Absolutely. Like you called it this season, right? It was in the regular season, it felt like it was more important for Buffalo to win because it doesn't really matter to Kansas City because they just get to the playoffs. And so this feels pretty, Buffalo had a great team and Allen has had a great year, and they were 13-3 going into this game, and so like it's really disappointing that they didn't, for Buffalo fans, they didn't get past this team.
The weird thing is with the Commanders, we were thinking, oh, there's clear pieces that are missing, like on offensive and defensive line, that you could tell that they just didn't have the personnel to keep up in 4 quarters against as good of a O and D line as the Eagles had. But when you look at the Bills, it's like you're really missing anything here? It's not really. It's you're right there. That's what probably makes it worse for Bills fans. Yes. They're looking at it going, well, we're just right there. We're a couple plays and we're right there. There's actually no pieces that are. I mean, now to be fair, they picked on Elam.
Yeah,
when the starter went out, that got ugly fast.
Yeah, which is crazy because he was a first-round pick. I'm familiar with him because he played at Florida. Yeah, and he was amazing.
But that's everybody in the NFL was amazing in college, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that was, I was surprised because he was a first-round pick a couple of years ago. Like I would have thought that he would have been better, but it's. Man,
they were all over. As soon as Benford went out, they were all over him, and it was obvious. Like wherever he was, the ball was going that way, and he had almost no ability to cover whoever. It was bad.
Yeah, he struggled. Yeah,
and that became like, here you go. And good teams capitalize when you have a weak link on the field, and that didn't go well for them at all.
No.
And even with that, it was still as close as it was.
Like these are still small margins we're talking about, right? So it's not,
Yeah. But again, that's why depth mattered. Depth matters so much on these teams because Rapp was out. And so I don't know.
Yeah.
Not really excuses. Just you can tell Reed and the Chiefs knew exactly what they're doing the minute they had that advantage there. It was all right. Elam, if that's the weak link on the field, we're going to press him constantly until he either makes a mistake or they find a way to adjust to it. And he just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. You got anything else?
I really enjoyed watching the game. It was an excellent game.
Yeah.
Sometimes the semifinals, like the division, the championships are, more entertaining than the Super Bowl, but I have a pretty good feeling about the Super Bowl just because I think both defenses are so good. I think they're two really good teams. I don't think it'll be a blowout either way. So
are you sure you don't think the Chiefs are going to blow out Philly?
Listen, I've made this mistake before. And until we do the preview show, I'm going right down the middle with this one, and I just think everyone's terrific and everyone deserves a balloon.
Yeah. They're both going to win.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a good place to leave it. So check back in with us. I don't know when. At some point, we're going to do our picks and preview show. We got what, 2 weeks? I hate this 2-week garbage.
I know, me too.
It's so dumb.
I know, and it's crazy that there's a flag football game now on the Pro Bowl. Like you couldn't do a regular football game. I get that. Like it's not like baseball. Baseball is one of the few things where it sort of really works.
You can't get hurt.
No, and so you just it's so. But they're trying to make something of it. But man, it's I don't know.
They got to just do the awards and not bother with any sort of event. Maybe a skills thing. Maybe, I don't know. It's just dumb.
Yeah, but I don't have it. But we'll do our preview thing, and we'll
we'll cover the just for other things. I guess we should cover. I want to watch the Shrine Bowl and Senior Bowl. Got to see what's going on there. There's actually a Canadian quarterback that got invited who's might actually have a shot at a draft.
That's crazy.
A draft position, or at least maybe being picked up in undrafted free agent. So that's super rare for a guy who actually played his entire career in Canada to look that good. But he's big. Actually, one of our buddies who teaches up at a university right there said he's aware of him and he's pretty good. Tyson was saying,
really?
That kid's legit. So he's got an NFL sized body and arms. So we'll see.
Hats off to his parents not forcing him down the ice hockey route. So sometimes that happens in Canada. So good for him for excelling at football. So it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, no kidding. But anyways, those games will be good because they actually play. That's not like a Pro Bowl thing. They show up there to scouts need to see what those guys got. All of those guys best on best. So anyways, that'll be something we can at least talk about between now and the Super Bowl. All right. So that's all we got for now.
That's it, baby. It's Saturday versus Sunday.
Saturday versus Sunday. It's not just NFL. It's not just college.
It's the average football fan watches both.
That's the whole point of the sign, right?
Yep.
All right. So check back in with us. It'll be in the next week or two that we'll have all those shows. All right. We'll catch you later.